First of all, I'd like to welcome everyone for joining our Northeast 68th Street Sidewalk Virtual Open House. I do want to go over some key items. This is a recorded meeting, so we will not be recording any of the cameras or the chats, but the presentation and the audio will be recorded. We'll go ahead and post the recorded presentation on our project website here within the next couple of days. Once our presentations have concluded, then we'll go ahead and follow up with a question and answer session at the end. Everyone will be muted for the entire presentation, and then during our question and answer session, you'll be able to raise your virtual hand. And as you can see on the screen, you can go ahead and find your name on the participants list. You might need to hover a little bit, but you'll be able to find that hand symbol, and then click the hand, and that way you can raise your virtual hand. Another way is if you go all the way at the bottom of your screen, there's a reaction button. It'll be in the lower right-hand corner. Go ahead and click that button, and then there's also a raise hand option that appears next to it, just right above the reactions button. So we will only call on those who have their hand raised. And then I do see that there are a couple of people who have joined over the phone. If you do wish to raise your virtual hand, you can go ahead and press *3, and then we'll go ahead and request that you unmute yourself. We do have a chat feature that is enabled, so if you do think of a question during the presentation, you can go ahead and type it in, send it through. We do have several Clark County Public Works team members here and consultants, along with the City of Vancouver. So go ahead and type those up if you want to. Otherwise, we can go ahead and we'll answer them on the chat. If not, then we can go ahead and read them out loud during our question and answer session. We are going to be considerate of everyone's time, so we will adhere to our time frame. We won't go past the 6:30 mark. If we don't get enough participation or maybe not enough questions, then we can go ahead and end early, but we will not go past that 6:30 mark. At the end of our presentation, we will go ahead and provide email addresses and contact information. So if you want to contact our project manager through an email, you can go ahead and do that. We'll also post them on our project website. Title VI forms and comment forms will be emailed to everyone in attendance today. These are voluntary forms, so if you receive it and would like to fill those out and return those to us, we would greatly appreciate it. We're going to go ahead and introduce the team. I am Cindy Gonzalez, the meeting moderator, and then we'll go ahead and let everyone else introduce themselves.
Kaylee McLaughlin-Burton, and I'm the Interim Community Engagement and Inclusion Manager for Clark County Public Works.
Hi, I'm Scott Faulkner. I'm the Clark County Public Works Project Manager for this project.
Kelly Batchelder. I'm a consultant for Clark County and City of Vancouver, and I work for Harper Huff Peterson Regalis Engineering. I'm the civil designer.
Hello, my name is Isaac McConnell. I'll be the construction engineer for this project. I'll be involved with the project during the physical construction of the project.
I am John McSherry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, John.
I am John McSherry. I'm with Clark County Public Works, and I'm in programming, and I work with the finances on this project.
Hi, I'm Liz Apostolos, and I work in real property services at Clark County.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Daniel. I'm a real property agent for Clark County.
And good evening. My name is Laura Henry Sly. I am the manager for the Real Property Services Department.
I'm Jeremy Provenziola. I'm the Clark County Public Works Project Manager Supervisor.
And hello, my name's Ivar Christensen. I'm an engineer with the City of Vancouver, and I'm project manager for the city.
Once again, welcome everyone. This is a virtual open house for the Northeast 68th Street Sidewalk Improvement Project. The vicinity map shown, the green bold line. The sidewalk starts at Northeast Highway 99 and runs east to St. John's Road. A little background and the proposed improvements for this project. As many of you probably know, the existing roadway, right now it's challenging for pedestrians in locations where there's no sidewalks. Pedestrians are forced to walk on a narrow roadway shoulder or navigate uneven terrain. Lots of vehicles use that road daily. Vehicle counts were about 2,400 vehicles per day. Posted speed limit out there is about 35 miles an hour, but as many of you know, cars travel in excess of that. I think it was measured at around 41 miles an hour. This project's going to create a continuous 6-foot sidewalk on the south side of Northeast 68th Street from the west end at Highway 99 going east. Not sure what that is that's up on my screen. Heading east to Northeast St. John's Road. And then on the city's portion of it, which is at the east end of the project, the city will be putting in a designated bike lane on the south side of Northeast 68th Street from Northeast 28th Avenue to Northeast St. John's Road. And due to site distance concerns, we will be installing a rectangular rapid flashing beacon at the intersection of Northeast 68th Street with Northeast 14th Avenue. Right now, the project funding, we have federal grants, the Transportation Alternative Program, Urban Large. We received about $1.7 million from that grant. We also have a state grant, the Transportation Improvement Board Sidewalk Program, $400,000 there from that grant. We're using traffic impact fees, real estate excise tax, county road fund, and the city of Vancouver will be providing money also. Kind of looking at a project overview. The blue is concrete sidewalk. You'll see that starting there at Highway 99 as we work east. There's going to be a combination of concrete sidewalk and pervious concrete sidewalk. And then we need to fix a couple driveways that are out there due to the change in elevation of the sidewalk. And some of that will be done with gravel and some with asphalt. We're going to have 4 crossings from the south side of the road going north. The first one, as mentioned, was at Northeast 14th Avenue, and that's where the flashing beacon will be located. We need to install that there. There's concerns with sight distance, and so that's what triggered that flashing beacon to be installed there. Moving eastward, we have another crossing at Northeast 17th Avenue. And once again, sidewalk on the south side of 68th Street. As we get down close to the Hazeldale Community Park, we'll have a mid-block crossing there so that pedestrians can move from the south side of 68th Street north into the park. And continuing east, we'll be putting in new sidewalk and using, I believe, some existing sidewalk on the south side of 68th Street. And then our final crossing is at Northeast 28th Avenue. See that at the lower part of the screen. And then we move into the city's portion of the project where they'll have sidewalk on the south side as well, and they'll be installing bike lanes. The project construction schedule should be out on ad in January of 2023. Bids will be open that same month. Hope to have the contract awarded by February 2023 and have it executed by March of 2023, and then have a start date of construction in late March, early April 2023. We'll be constructing over the spring and summer and be substantially complete in October of 2023 and a physical completion by December 2023. Although construction won't start until March, April 2023, you might see utility companies out there on site relocating possibly power lines, gas lines, water lines. So you might see some activity prior to that March, April construction start date. Contact information, the construction manager / construction engineer is Isaac McConnell. His number and email address is listed there. As mentioned, the project managers, I'm the project manager for the county. My information's there. And Ivor Christensen is project manager with the city of Vancouver. I listed the Public Works customer service email address. You can email them with questions, comments, concerns, and they'll end up back on my desk. So another option to reach out to me. A lot of times at open houses, we get neighbors that are worried about speeding cars through the neighborhood. I like to add that if there are speeding cars that you want to report, there's a speeder hotline. Phone number is listed there with the extension. And as Cindy said earlier, this presentation is recorded. It will be uploaded to the project website within 3 business days of the open house. And the website is listed there. Now is a good opportunity if you want to take out your phone, snap a picture of this screen, you can, and I'll put it back up here in a little bit if you want to write it down. And then once again, how to raise your hand with questions. And with that, we'll open it up to the public for questions.
I know someone just asked whether this information will be sent to their emails. They won't be sent in an email, but all of this information will be posted on our project website. So not only will we place the recorded meeting on the website, but I'll also take these presentation slides and upload them onto the website as well. Thank you so much, Scott. So this is time for the community to ask any questions that they have in regards to the project. We have several members here, so if you want to raise your virtual hand, I see Trisha has a question.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, great. Yeah, I wanted to understand how the construction would impact us getting to and from our homes. How will the traffic be routed and diverted and stuff? So we're kind of in the middle here, so we're not at the end. So I'm kind of concerned about that.
As part of this project, there will be no full road closures. There might be isolated 1-lane closures, but there will always be a way to your house. We will have flaggers. If construction is going on in front of your house, there will be a way for you to get there. But no full road closures anticipated.
And the other question I have is, like, there's existing sidewalks. So are those existing sidewalks going to stay? And then just sidewalks are going to be filled in where they're absent? Or is there going to be like new sidewalks and it's going to be kind of seamless?
Kelly, would you like to answer that question?
Sure. Yeah, we will be putting in new sidewalks the whole way. Most of the existing sidewalks are either like a tripping hazard because they're kind of old, or they're not wide enough for the project. So we will be putting in new sidewalks. On the city side, there is some areas where there is fairly new sidewalks that we're keeping and not replacing.
Okay, okay. And then the bike lane is going to be just in front of the sidewalk then. So then there'd be no parking on the road then now is so on the south side of the road is on-street parking being eliminated?
Correct, correct. And I actually don't, I don't think there's any on-street parking now.
Well, there's just up from my house on the other side, on the south side, next to, right in front of where the apartment complex fence is.
Okay.
People park there all the time. In fact, there's homeless people that frequently park there as well.
That will be eliminated, that parking there.
Okay,
Because we
so-
will be widening the road and putting in curb and gutter and a bike lane. Yeah.
So like no parking signs might be posted as well.
Ivar, will no parking signs be posted? Is the city project manager.
I don't believe so. I think we'll post bike lane signs, bike lane starts. But Trish, I am listening, and we'll need to go back and think about this a little more carefully. Do we need no parking signs or not? But I don't believe we're currently proposing them. But I'm making notes of what you're telling me, and we'll go back and assess that.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. There's no parking signs currently in that location where people are parking, and it's been kind of problematic. I know a lot of the neighbors have called, to report issues and stuff, trash being left there and cars being left there for a long time, stuff like that. So, yeah, so we're kind of looking forward to that improvement.
Yeah, they
So-
will be in the street.
Uh-huh.
If they still park there after this, because that bike lane's only 6 feet wide. So it would be blocking lanes because we will be putting in a curb. So
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I heard you they were talking about the crosswalks that are going in. And I didn't completely understand what type of crosswalk was going in front of the park. Is that going to be different than some of the others? Is it, are there going to be lights or anything there for that one, or?
there is not going to be a flashing light there. But I think that there will be a light, just like to illuminate, but it won't be a flashing beacon.
Okay. Okay. Just to bring people's attention to it or something like that. Okay. Okay. I think that's all the questions I have for now. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And I've noticed that there are several people who have called in over their phones. If you press *3 on your phone, that gives you the option to raise your virtual hand. So if you do have a question, go ahead and raise your virtual hand that way. Otherwise, I don't have any other questions up, so I'll just wait a few more minutes here. Okay. George has a question. I think you have to go ahead and unmute.
Cindy, can I jump in?
Sure.
I thought I saw a question pop up on the screen that asked about a raised crosswalk at the park.
Yes. Raised crossing at the park entrance would be great to help slow cars at the park entrance. It is a crazy spot and lots of near misses. So, comment. And George, did you still? Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Great. I was also concerned about the speed of the vehicles on the average on 68th Street, especially at that crosswalk at 14th Avenue. People coming up the hill or coming from the east going down the hill, and the danger of crossing the street there, especially.
And that is the one location that we will have that flashing beacon. So basically push the button and then the lights are flashing. And that was specifically because of that grade change there and the sight distance. But the county did feel like it was an important crossing because of that church, and they have a lot of open pantry kind of things there.
Right. Are there any plans to reduce the speed on 68th Street?
None that I'm aware of. It will stay the posted 35 miles per hour.
Because you've found from your studies that the average speed exceeds 35 miles per hour by several miles per hour. And I'm wondering how effective the speeding hotline would be calling into that.
Yeah, as part of this project, we're not going to be reducing the speed on that corridor. That's the best tool that we have right now, is that number to call the sheriff's office. Yeah, that's about all I can say right now.
Can I just find out why it's continuing to be 35 miles per hour on 68th Street?
We can ask that question with our traffic folks.
Mm-hmm.
I'll add something here. It usually depends on the classification of the road. So roads are classified as, arterials or neighborhood roads. There's a whole bunch of different categories, and they're categorized based on the features they have, how wide they are, if they're in a residential area, et cetera, et cetera. And then speed limits are often tied to those classifications. So if improvements on a roadway won't change how the road is classified, then usually that doesn't trigger a change in the speed limit. But we can certainly forward your comment and your concern to traffic staff and make sure that, it's something that they definitely look into for this area.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you. And Tricia?
Okay, thank you. I couldn't unmute. Yeah, something to what George said. I think one thing that I find challenging on the road is that the speed limit signs that are posted now aren't that easy to see, at least particularly the one down towards Highway 99. So I was wondering maybe we could get additional signage for speed limit. Possibly that might help because it's a pretty long road. I don't know if that would help or not, but it might be, or at least better visibility, something like that. So, is that something that we could maybe look in, maybe you guys could look into?
Yeah, I'll take note of that and pass it on to our traffic section.
Thank you.
We are updating the signing and striping with this project. So I'll have to look back because we may already that may already be in the project. But we'll definitely talk about it with the traffic engineer.
Okay, yeah, that would be great. I know I've brought it up at neighborhood, the neighborhood group, meeting before, and yeah, they said that at that time they couldn't do anything about it, but yeah, that
This would be the
great.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It would be a great time. All right, thank you.
And then just a couple more comments from Jason. Reducing the speed should be considered, especially with an impaired sight distance. and we need traffic calming. But again, if you do have any questions, you can go ahead and raise your virtual hand, and then we'll request that you be unmuted and ask your question out loud. You can also type in a question, and it looks like Rick has a question.
Yeah, I am at 1115 Northeast 68th Street, and my driveway is going to be relocated to the east. And I just had a question of the center line of the road, is that going to stay the same as it is now, or will that change?
That's correct. It will stay the same. We're actually not widening the road any. We're just putting in where the new sidewalks are, putting in a little bit of a separation and then the sidewalk. So the road will stay the same on the county section.
Okay, and then what do you know what the distance would be from the center line to the proposed wall in front of my location?
Can you tell me your address one more time?
1115 Northeast 68th Street.
Yep.
So Kelly, this is one of the driveways that we had to do a redesign on.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
this is the more easterly of the two.
The eastern, 20, it's about 25 feet from the center line to the wall, to the face of the wall. At your driveway, 1115.
25 feet?
Yeah, 25, 26.
Okay. And Laura, so I'm seeing here now that we are doing a flashing light at 14th. That's correct?
Yeah, I apologize. I did not know that when we met yesterday.
Okay.
So,
I'm glad to see that. So
I did not know that. I know that was a point of yours, so.
I thought I
So,
saw it in the original design, but I wasn't quite sure. So I'm glad to see that. I do have some other concerns with, but it's specifically to my property. I don't know if we should, and Laura, I think you know what my concerns are. Should we just wait on any of that discussion probably?
I could schedule a time between you, me, and Kelly on that. Yeah, I forward that on to Kelly and the project manager. So
Yeah, we could
my
definitely meet
preference was
offline
to
here,
have
Rick.
have a side conversation on that.
Okay.
Sure.
Do we know the status on the hotel at all? Is that a drop project, or are you aware of what's happening with that?
It's the first I've heard of it.
Of a hotel or the drop project being dropped?
Of the hotel.
Wow. Yeah.
I think I saw something about asking whether the flashing would be both ways on 14, and it will. You'll see it from both sides.
Thank you. I missed that one.
I'm just seeing them flash, but then when I go in the chat, I don't see them. So
I think they're going into the question and answer instead of the chat, but
okay.
yeah, will there be any flashing signage on the east side of the hill from 14th?
There will be both sides.
So Kaylee, is there any way that you could maybe get a contact information for community development on that hotel? It's not a part of our project, so honestly, we don't have any information on that, Rick.
Yeah, Rick, if you want to email any one of us, we can connect you with community development and someone who could speak specifically to that.
Go ahead, Rick.
Oh, I'm just kind of surprised that nobody knows about the hotel when it's on the north side of the road, and we're putting the sidewalk on the south side and bringing a hotel to our very small street with no entrances off of Highway 99 to it. Is there ever a plan to put sidewalks on the north side of 68th Street?
I have not heard of a plan for that. And maybe John McSherry can talk about, is there any grant applications for sidewalk on the north side?
There's not currently any grant applications for sidewalk on the north side.
If that hotel though if it's fronting the street, they will have to improve the street though per county requirements, which would include adding a sidewalk. So for their frontage, at least, there would be a sidewalk, even if they aren't. But if they're on 68th Street, even if they're not having access there.
Thank you.
Okay.
And Jason?
I was more concerned with whether or not or why most of you don't seem to know anything about the hotel. It's been in the works for like several years. It's that empty spot that's fenced off right above the old gas station. I have a lot of concerns over that as well. I mean, that doesn't involve this project, but other than the fact that there would be sidewalks on that side as well. My bigger concern is the flashing lights on the east side of the hill from 14th and how far down the road they would be to alert people, because people go 70 to 90 miles an hour up that hill almost sometimes, it seems like. So people won't slow down in time to avoid hitting somebody.
Yeah, so Public Works usually isn't involved or even made aware of certain projects until they start impacting the public right of way. And so if something's still kind of in that permitting phase and, you know, kind of pre-development phase, that's all in the community services department or community development. So again, you can email one of us and we can try to connect you with the right department that does receive public comments about projects like that. So concerns about specifically the hotel development would need to go to community development.
Go ahead.
My concern would mostly be about the impact of the road, because they are saying that they want to have two entrances on 68th. And sorry to hijack it to this as well again, but coming over that hill, we were told there's generally no backup coming over that hill, and there's frequently backup all the way up the hill. So it comes back to the discussion of lowering the speed limit on this road. That hotel and all the construction around us, as well as the sidewalks, I mean, what is there going to be on the road to protect people who are walking up and down on the sidewalks? Is there going to be anything in place to protect us from cars?
Are you saying specifically right across from that hotel?
Anywhere along the road, really.
The sidewalk where we're putting in new sidewalk where there isn't any sidewalk now, that's going to be at grade. There's going to be no curb, but there will be a separation, like a 3 to 5 foot separation from the road. But we're not planning on putting in, you know, any barriers or anything.
Any small bumps or anything like that, like something that would like rattle a car a little bit? Anything?
That's not in the plan right now. Scott? is that something the county would look at, or?
No, I have not heard of any kind of barrier separating the traffic lane from the sidewalk.
A lot depends on if a project like that is approved, then we look at the impact to traffic volume, and then decisions are made about whether additional pedestrian infrastructure needs to be considered or not. So, since none of us know a lot about this hotel project, because it doesn't sound like it's been, permitted yet, we can't really speak to if something like that was built and increased traffic, what then we would need to do to accommodate that increased traffic.
I think, may I say something about this?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, George.
This is George, another resident. And my concern is, I was always under the assumption that with this sidewalk project, there would be a curb next to the road. But doesn't sound like that's going to be the case. Is that true?
That's correct. No curb for most of the new sidewalk areas, yeah.
I wonder how much safer pedestrians are going to feel with that.
Well, right now, I think you're walking in the road, so you'll have about a 5-foot separation and then a full 6-foot sidewalk off to the edge. I don't, yeah, I don't know. I would feel a little bit safer, at least get out of the roadway. But
I just saw someone else's hand. And I think they still... Rick, I think it was Rick.
Yeah, it was me.
Okay.
So I guess I just want to go on record as well, urging you guys to have the speed limit changed to 25, because it's, my driveway, as Jason said, my driveway is moving to the east more, and I'm very limited sight distance right now with the hill. And I'm very apprehensive about this whole move in my driveway, because pulling out of my driveway is kind of risky already, and then moving me another 30 feet to the east puts me more at risk. And it's a daily thing of people coming over that hill to see how much air they can catch on the other side, apparently. So I'm urging you guys to get with whoever on the speed limit, because it definitely needs to be changed.
Thank you. Okay, Jason. I think there's someone on the phone. We'll go ahead and ask the caller to unmute first, and then we'll go to Jason. Go ahead.
Hi, I just wanted to comment on the speed limit that everyone keeps talking about. And I don't know that it really matters what it's posted. People are going to drive what they want. Right now it's 35. They just said the average was 41. Decreasing it to 25 is not going to change people's speed. Honest people, maybe, but the majority of people that drive on 68 are still going to go 41 plus.
Thank you. And Jason?
Yeah, that's why traffic calming is needed on this road, because it's only a matter of time before someone sticks their nose out of their car and it gets torn off by another one. My question is about no parking signs along the frontage of the park on the north side of the road, as well as the south side. If there's no real barrier between the roadway and the sidewalk, we already have people that park on our grass. So that whole section along the frontage of the park on both sides needs to be marked as no parking with signage. I don't want anybody parking and blocking my view. They already park and block my view in and out of driveway anyway, and on the grass. So they do that on both sides, and then it creates its own, I guess, traffic calming for lack of a better word. But you can't see, and you have to take a risk when you go out of your own driveway, because there's less than 2 lanes of road with everybody parking on both sides of the street from the park.
I think we heard that comment in the first couple of open houses we had too, so. We'll look into that.
That would be fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. So again, those calling on the phone can use *3 to request to be unmuted, or actually to raise your virtual hand. Any other questions?
Just, I wanted to just ask one thing, and it's probably not real important to this project, but I know that you're going to be cutting down several mature trees on the south side of the street. What's the policy for the Public Works Department for replacing those trees, or?
I can answer that. As far as if there are trees in the right of way, there's not a policy for replacing those trees that I'm aware of. I don't believe the county has a tree ordinance for trees
I'm
inside
just
the
wondering
driveway.
about the recent concerns about greenhouse gases and all of that in cities, and tree canopy and things like that.
Thank you, George. My name's Eeyore. I'm the project manager for the city, and there are a couple of mature Oregon white oaks that need to be removed in the city section, and the city's urban forester has, well, I guess the city has a consultant who's calculated the canopy that would be lost, and then we need to mitigate that by planting new trees. So that's something that those Oregon white oaks are a special protected almost species of trees. So that's the plan for those two anyway.
Great.
And also on the city end, we will be planting street trees from 28th to St.
That's
John's.
great.
Yes, I'm back. Is there any street lights going in this project at all, or no?
We will be lighting the crossings, the crosswalks, and then on the city end, there will be street lighting.
But just on the city end only, huh?
Correct.
But the crosswalk at 14th will be lit?
Yes.
Okay. And then one other thing I didn't include earlier, that hotel has been fully permitted and they were ready to go on it until COVID hit. So yeah, it's well into the open of everybody knowing what was going on with it. That's all I got.
I'm not seeing any more questions. We can give it a few more minutes before we can end the meeting. Last chance, last call.
Thank you to all of you for being available for this.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure.
And as previously mentioned, everything will be recorded and then posted on our project website. You'll have access to the PowerPoint presentation as well. I know sometimes it's a little bit difficult to view them on the screen. I've posted several contacts on the chat, so you can also use that information, contact several of our Public Works, City of Vancouver employees directly. Again, I'll go ahead and send out a form here in the next couple of days. But I want to thank you all for joining us. Well, hold on. Trisha has one more question. Go ahead.
Sorry. I don't really have a question, but I wanted to make you aware and other neighbors on here that the Northeast Hazeldale Neighborhood Association, actually you guys might let them know because they post a newsletter and they have a website. And so other people that actually don't live on this road actually might want to know about what is going on to maybe avoid the area or that kind of thing during construction. I can put the link to the association in the chat if you want, and you could contact or you can, contact me. I think all their information is on there.
Yeah, we work really closely with our neighborhoods program coordinator and the City of Vancouver's neighborhoods program coordinator too. So when construction gets a little closer, we send that information out to them so they can send it out to any and all the neighborhood associations they think it would be appropriate. And then I post on Nextdoor and all of our social media channels. We post it on our website. And then I will also put some instructions in the chat for how folks can sign up to receive construction and closure alerts from us via email that, then you can send to whoever.
Wonderful. That's great. Yeah. I've gotten a lot of information through the neighborhood association, and actually they keep up to date pretty much on the hotel construction thing that's going on too. So, yeah, so it's a really good resource. All right. Thank you. That's all I had. Thank you all for your time and appreciate it.
Yes, thank you all for joining. And as you've noticed, Keely did put those instructions on the chat. So if you want to go ahead and maybe take a screenshot or copy and paste, once the meeting is over, then no longer have access to those. So. Alrighty. Well, that concludes our meeting. Thank you all for joining, and you all have a good evening.
Thank you. You as well.
Thank you.
Bye.